Hi folks, Bob Krebs, Sales Manager with Pure Pursuit Automotive, and I wanted to show you our newest acquisition this evening, this beautiful 2012 Cayenne S Porsche. It's an absolutely beautiful vehicle, and I want to tell you just a little bit about it as we do a walk around here. So this is a 4.8 liter V8 engine, 32 valve, double overhead cam, and as you can see, the engine has been very, very well maintained. The engine compartment is absolutely immaculate, everything in its place and a place for everything. It's got a headlighting system here that is halogen and very bright, perfect for the road and any other kind of conditions that you're going to be driving in. The vehicle itself is a beautiful cobalt blue color, which goes very well with the silver accents on both the inside tan and the outside silver. We got 18-inch wheels and 18-inch tires, Pirellis, that are all season, all weather. A look at the inside shows a really beautiful tan color that we've got here with a full instrumentation package and of course seating that is 8 points for each driver and passenger in the front. A lot of room and also a lot of luxury in the front here, which I'll get to in just a bit. Back also shows and indicates you've got a lot of room back here where you've also got a dual set of controls for the air conditioning and heating aspect of the car. Again, the beautifully vented leather seats here in a tan color that offsets the color of the vehicle. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, as we move around to the back from the passenger compartment, another unique feature about this beautiful Porsche Cayenne S is the easy open back compartment here to the hatchback. So you just basically give it an easy touch, opens right up automatically, so you can put all your storage items in here. You've got space on this side, you've got space on this side for storage, and of course inside here you've got your spare tire, your jack, and every other piece of mechanical instrumentation you need to change a flat tire on the road. And of course, once you've done that, or once you've loaded the back of this with groceries, other items, or luggage, it has an automatic closing feature. By just pressing this, it automatically closes, and once it closes, it seals on its own. It's also got the rear backup camera here so that you can utilize this as your backing to avoid running into any objects that you might not be able to see with both your mirrors side and side in the front. So it's warmed up, ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start it up, take it out on the road, and we're going to see what it'll do. And as you can see, the interior of this is a beautiful tan with brown accents that are wood grained. And what I'll go ahead and start with is some of the instrumentation here, the array of those. So I'll start from the left and go over to the right to the center console. If you look on the left, you've got your engine temperature here, the water temperature of the radiator. Below that, the oil pounds and temperature as well. So you've also got your speedometer indicating miles per hour and the tachometer, which gives you the revolutions per minute as you're driving. The next one all over here on the right, this is going to be engine temperature as well. And of course you've got your fuel gauge, which will give you, as I'll show you in just a second, you can find out how many miles to empty in case you get a little bit low. And it constantly updates and gives you an estimate of how much time you have remaining to drive. So this particular gauge has several different functions. Number one, by switching it, it's currently in navigation mode, and by switching it here on the steering wheel itself, you're able to change that to different levels within it. To the working phone, the Bluetooth inside, which gives you also the temperature and the time. The trip, it gives you the ride time, distance traveled, range approximately, and the speed on average of what you've been driving. The next one, it gives you the tire pressure of each and every single one of the tires. Front two in this case are 33, back two, left is 39, right's 38. Obviously the back have a little bit more pressure than the front tires. This also gives you an analog view electronically of the same features the other ones show. And the digital portion gives you again the temperature, the oil, and how many bars of that you've got as far as your oil goes. And of course, you can also find out what radio station you're on without having to look over here. As you're driving, this becomes very critical because rather than glance all the way over here and possibly have an accident or miss something on the roadway, you can do essentially everything from the steering wheel that you can do from the center console. So you can control the radio from here, you can control the sound from here, and numerous other features simply by these few controls on the steering wheel itself. It also gives you information on the navigation that you've gone through. In this case, it shows the last destination was 16th Avenue, USA, Brooklyn, New York. So the vehicle obviously traveled to there at some point in time, which was the last navigation that was entered into the system. So that pretty much completes how that works. All right, now moving along to the center console of the vehicle, you've got a computer screen readout here. On top, you have essentially your clock. It operates with digital and analog so that you can tell what time it is, obviously, while you're driving, and you can see it from here. The second thing here is our computer readout screen, which has several different functions to it. It's got a radio tuner feature so that you can select what you're looking at as far as the radio stations you're choosing, and of course which radio stations you want to listen to, which can be controlled by the steering wheel as well. So once you decide to do that, you can pretty much preset your memory, set the manual to do it by yourself manually with your fingers, or you can store several different radio stations that are your favorites, or the ones that you particularly listen to on a regular basis. The next is the disc for the CD player. In this particular case, you can put your CD in and it will obviously play. It's also got MP3 player as well. You can, again, do the same thing. Your track list, repeat, shuffle, etc., etc. So it's got a wide array of different functions for the CD itself. And the source, obviously, you can choose which one you want, from disc to satellite to FM to AM sourcing on this. It's also got the navigation portion, which in this case will allow you to use it to navigate and find out where you're going. This will give you real-time navigation, and of course you can enter in any particular address or any location that you want to go to, and it will take you there the same way that MapQuest or Google Maps will take you to a particular location. So, and of course the information you're going to get here tells you a little bit about each of those things: the traffic messages, location, and other details. So moving on down here on the console itself, you've got your temperature controls, heat and air conditioning. You've got a driver's side and a passenger side, so that way either person can set their own comfort level to whatever they desire. The temperature can go obviously up or down, and then of course the fan is also on this side as well as this side, so you can set your fan at whatever speed you want to blow the air faster or slower. Same thing with the passenger side. You can set the fan to whatever speed you wish, and you can set the temperature to whatever temperature that you wish and is comfortable for you. Or you can also set them on an auto. In that particular case, it will always go to that as long as you're driving it. So, and of course, obviously, you've got your hazards that you can put on up here. You got your front and rear defrosters, and also you've got seat arrangements here as far as where you want the seat to be able to have the air going, whether it's facing the top here, or whether you want the air coming out of the middle console, or whether you want it at your feet. So again, all those are automatic, or you can set them manually. It's also got a seat heater, which I've got this one turned on at this point in time, but I can tell you it's getting a little warm, so I'm going to cut it down. I think most people would find number 1 setting good, but certainly when you get in a cold car in winter, number 3 is fantastic, because literally within about a minute and a half, it is very, very toasty and warm. So you've also got your traction controls down here for different types of road conditions, from those that are, let's say, in a mountainous area, those that are regular traction to where you want to put it in off-road mode, or if you want to put it also in another off-road mode that's going to give you better traction and the best way to travel in the particular route that you're on. It's also got several other different modes that you can put the vehicle into. And number 1 is sport mode here, and of course that's when you want the vehicle to be able to be performing at a little bit higher rate or a little bit more responsive. It tightens the suspension up a bit and gives you that kind of a ride that, let's say you're in a maybe like almost like a track thing, or where you're in a range of area where you've got a lot of winding roads, and it's quite honestly very enjoyable because it does hug the road that way. It's also got the anti-skid function and anti-swerve function that will not let your tires break loose should they begin to spin. If they do start to spin and break loose, this will automatically stop the motion and bring your car back to center position so you don't spin out of control and then either undercorrect or overcorrect with the vehicle. It's also got an incline position that you can indicate here, which when you're going down, let's say in a mountainous area, and you've got a steep incline to go down from, let's say 14,000 feet maybe to 2,000 feet, this will automatically keep the vehicle from going too fast, yet at the same time allowing you to be able to drive it without being too hyper vigilant about the vehicle. Now we've got the center console glove box, which has a couple of different features to it. Number one, you can obviously store things in here. Number two, you've got a USB port where you can plug in your electronic instruments, and a 12-volt power source where you can also charge things up or put various other instruments into that and add your computer, your iPhone, charge your regular phone, whatever you wish. Now let's move here to the panoramic roof we've got, and it's not just a moonroof, it is essentially a panoramic roof which goes all the way to both sides of the vehicle, the front two passengers, completely back to the back, so that you've got literally a very large space between the front and the back, so that the passengers are enjoying the same type of moonroof and view that the two front passenger and driver are enjoying as well. It's also got several other features up here, which are essentially the lights, where we can turn on the interior light here, or if you wish, you can either passenger has their own light that they can light for their own lighting that's directed just specifically at their seating area, so they don't have to bother anyone else with it. Obviously, it's also got the lighted mirror, so you can check whatever you need to in that area. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about here a little bit are just some very real easy features to use, and that's the power mirrors that it's got, in which you can select the mirror that you wish to change the side on, and once you select that mirror side, and of course it's also got the function where you can pull the mirrors in for parking or for just being able to put it in the garage. Once you select the side for that mirror, you can obviously go up, down, right, or left to be able to correct the mirror for the best vision. Again, the power the power windows are run from this side as well, where you've got the driver window, passenger window, and of course both of the back seat windows as well. You can also put the back hatch open from here, which opens completely. Okay, so that about takes care of the interior portion of the vehicle, giving you a little bit of an idea of what the cockpit and the inside of the vehicle looks like. So what we're going to do next is take it out on a little test drive and see what it does on the road. So we're down in the downtown metro area of Kansas City, so we're going to take it out for just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and switch this to navigation on the front screen here, so that way we can you'll have kind of an idea of where we're going, and you can track it. So let's go ahead and take this beautiful vehicle out and go for a ride. The first thing that I tell everybody about these vehicles that have the rear camera is always observe your surroundings. Use the camera as an adjunct and an aid, but not the only thing. Always make sure you use your rear view mirror and both your side mirrors as all when backing. This gives you the opportunity to make sure that you don't miss something that either could run by underneath your car, like a small child, an animal, or another vehicle that might be coming up on you don't realize. So I'll let you look at that for just a second while I back the vehicle up. And what I'm going to do is purposely go toward this vehicle so you can get an idea of what happens when you get close to another car. And it seems like we're going really fast right now. We're really not. But here's what will happen if it looks like I might accidentally back into this vehicle. It starts off with a warning first and gets louder and louder, like radar, when you get too close to it, because essentially that's what it is radar, and it's measuring the distance between you and that vehicle and warning you to be careful not to hit it. And of course that all obviously goes off once it indicates that you've put it in drive, and you're probably going to steer away from it. So this is a very important safety feature, but again, don't use it as the only feature when backing. Okay, we're on the way. This vehicle is very, very comfortable. It's one of the easiest vehicles I think I've ever been in to drive, as far as one that's a sport and luxury both at the same time, and an SUV. So again, the term sport utility vehicle obviously fits this well, and I can tell you that this definitely has a lot of get up and go as well. It's a high performing vehicle. It's got a V8 engine in it, 32 valve aluminum. and quite honestly, it's got almost every function that you can imagine in it. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea about its acceleration here real quickly. A real easy vehicle to drive. As I said, you can literally, not that it's recommended, but you can literally drive this vehicle with one finger and go wherever you need to. I typically keep my hands at 10 and 2 positions driving because it's the most accessible to be able to shift the wheel back and forth. It's easily driven in downtown areas across the country, pretty much any area that you would imagine to want to drive. This is such a easy car to drive. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it's got everything that you need in it. You can sit and listen to CDs as long as you want. You can listen to radio. You've got satellite directions on it. It's pretty much self-contained as far as what you want to do and where you want to go and how to get there. So everything is also very easily seen and easily accessible. There's everything in the cockpit here literally you can get to, touch, but it's also on the steering wheel so that the driver doesn't ever have to constantly be fiddling down here, because one of the problems, as is texting, when you take your hands or your eyes off the road, you're bound to get into an accident at some point in time. It's not if, it's when, because it will happen. There's some more acceleration out of it. So if you decide that you are in a pack of cars that's going pretty slow, you're not going to have much of a problem of getting around several vehicles at once. Or if all of a sudden you're in an area where you need to speed up in an emergency and get around a potential accident or a problem, believe me, this car will automatically jump right up. You can pull it over here if you look down at the manual here to where it goes from automatic to where if you switch it over, you can bring it into first gear, second gear, and then shift it back over again. So essentially what it is a semi-automatic / manual. You bring it over into first, second, or back over into drive. We're going to go ahead and head back to our dealership now. But it's, again, this is a beautiful car. We just acquired it. I've had numerous offers already, even while it was in transit. So I assume it will go fairly quickly. We've got a lot of people that enjoy Cayennes here in the Midwest because they kind of are an all-weather vehicle. They're very, very much suited to pretty much any weather conditions, and they're easily driven in any of those weather conditions. So we're almost back to the dealership now. So as you can see, this is a fantastic car. I would highly recommend anybody who's in the market, particularly for a Cayenne or an SUV. We've got the vehicle for you right here. I've driven this thing now several times, and it's fantastic. It's beautiful. It's been well maintained and cared for by the previous owner, and it's one that I would highly recommend to anybody. And so come on down and see us here. Again, I'm Bob Krebs, sales manager with Pure Pursuit Automotive. You can reach us here at area code 816-659-3027. Thanks a lot.